Welcome back to another Tech Days tutorial. Are you familiar with SeeSaw, but are looking for some new ways to use it? Well, I may have some new ideas for you based on my research throughout the internet to find new and interesting ways for you to use SeeSaw in your classroom. Let's take a look at a few of those now. There are many different activities that you can do within SeeSaw with your students. In just this one platform, you have so many tools and they are all housed in this one app. It can be hard to come up with ideas on your own, so here are a few ideas to get you started. If you're part of our district, we have the paid premium educator version of SeeSaw. This allows us some perks, one of them being multi-pages for teachers and students to do things on. This works great for many reasons, one of them being a scavenger hunt. You can set up questions and templates for each of the pages that you want students to find clues to. You can hide clues to questions around the room, building, outside, find text in books as evidence that students can then take pictures of and insert into each page to then bring all the clues together to answer one big question based on all those clues inside of SeeSaw. It doesn't have to be super complicated if you have primary students, but you can make it as in-depth as you want with upper grades. Try it out. A simple one you could do is tracing. Set up a template where students can trace letters and numbers. This works well with a stylus. Now I hear some of you saying that isn't the same as writing with pencil and paper, and I agree. But I also think that then typing is important and that we should be putting just as much emphasis on getting keyboards and having students learn to type, because we type way more than we handwrite in today's world. Along the same theme as putting in a template, we can have templates ready to go with blanks that students can fill in with writing, typing, using symbols, or even drag and drops with images, or any combination of them. You can do this with any subject, especially the drag and drop with images in specials such as music, PE, and art. If you're into more of the project-based activities, you might consider making a rubric template that students can fill out about themselves on the last slide, so students can check off everything they have done and then give themselves a score for complete transparency and self-reflection. This can help parents too, who are checking in on their child's assignments, so they can see early on before grade cards how their little one is doing. Now we have 3 eyes on a student to check in with them to meet their needs, including themselves. Sometimes we just want to have students think out loud. This is a tool I like to use myself. Some people write in a journal and others like to talk to themselves. It helps to get thoughts out of our heads and into the ears of a friend to process what is going on in our own brains. Give a question that you might have in the middle of a lesson and let students record their own thoughts on something. This may help with student processing of your lessons. Everyone gets a chance to record their own thoughts instead of just one student talking for the entire class. You know what I'm talking about. This one is pretty simple, but if you're working on citing evidence from the text, have an activity inside of your SeeSaw that has a medium to small amount of text, and then have a question or answer written down, and then have your students go support that statement by highlighting supporting evidence from the text inside of SeeSaw. Having multiple pages allows students to do things like make a step-by-step process by putting each step on a slide. They can put an image, text, audio, video, draw, whatever they want to show a step-by-step process of an activity or project that they did with you, or just a sequence of events. I made a book snap video a little while back. Check it out. It does more in depth about what this is, but basically you can take some text and annotate and mark it up, kind of like a mini close read. You can make a comic strip, find images online and add them to the canvas, put speech bubbles and add some text. Insert an image as a template or let students pick their own, then have them caption it. If you have a SeeSaw blog, let students comment on each other's work using a little method that I found called tag, which I have a video about on my channel as well. Teach your students to communicate online responsibly and purposefully. Students can record themselves as they do things on screen. Have your students explain their thinking as they do a math problem or solve a puzzle of some sort. The function to do something on screen and record lets you create some fun stuff. Speaking of recording and moving things on screen, you can have students move around characters on your screen that are important that you either put in as a template or they found themselves, and they can act out these scenes like puppets. You can record all sorts of things. Podcasts are something that people use every day. You can record for only 5 minutes or upload a video under 250 megabytes. So short one-topic discussions are encouraged. You can have your students record themselves reading and then watch it so that they can hear what they sound like. This works for students' fluency, and their parents can hop on in the parent app and hear them as well. Students can hear their mistakes and go back and reread, now able to focus on the parts of the text that they struggled with. Like a podcast, students can interview each other. They can be for opinion papers, thinking out loud topics, or questions about a book or how something works in science. Switch roles and allow both students to learn to ask good questions and practice being concise in their answers. If you have a Mac, you're in luck. Check out the SeeSaw Chrome extension that allows you to capture anything on the web and directly add it to a SeeSaw post. This opens up limitless opportunities to make creative pages in SeeSaw for your students. If students are working on letters and sounds, you can create a template that has letters, numbers, blends, digraphs, or whatever you need. Then have students record themselves saying those letters and numbers to show that they can identify them. This could be great independent centers work once they have practiced enough times. Timed activities. Put a bunch of math problems in some templates for multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, or mix it up, and then start a timer for students to complete as many as they can and get through as many pages as they can. They can do it with or without recording themselves, but if they don't record, is there really any proof? Upload pictures of videos that they made elsewhere. Now, I can hear you saying that there is a built-in video system, which I agree that you should use first. But there are things that you can't do, such as use ChatterPix to make pictures talk, which you can then upload to SeeSaw as your digital portfolio. So yeah, try out ChatterPix and make characters from a story talk and explain things as if they were that character, and then upload to SeeSaw. Continuing with more video ideas, have your students create how-to videos in class to help explain what to do for their parents at home. Many parents have looked at assignments and didn't know what to do since they weren't at school to learn it the same way that their kids did. So a great way to learn is to teach. Have your students teach a lesson on a topic that they're learning in class to help them practice it at home and even teach their parents. You don't always have to push out activities for your students to complete. The announcement section can be utilized as well for fun. Take videos or pictures during activities, parties, celebrations, and more, and push them out through the announcement tab for parents to experience the excitement and success that we have at school. Pretend the announcements tab is like your social media account with less selfies and food, of course. Record a follow-along for reading centers for your students. This is great for primary grades and even ELL or resource students. Read a story or passage that goes with a book that they are reading so that they can follow along and they can do the work on that page after your reading. This works great with the multi-page activities. You can even chunk some of the book or story by splitting it up into multiple pages and questions. Think of it like a PlayPosit, only in SeeSaw with all the SeeSaw tools. Document a hands-on activity. Analog lessons are still relevant. We won't be getting rid of them anytime soon, but we can document them by taking video or photo evidence of it and make notes on the screen describing what they did. I mean, if you don't have a picture of it, it didn't happen, right? Just let your students every once in a while express themselves with no restrictions. I mean, okay, a little restrictions. But make a journal post with no directions whatsoever. Let them post a silly post, just for fun. Post something creative just because with the class and let them comment on each other's activity for community building. And we're done. You should have a lot of ideas now that you can use to help create diverse activities with your students to get more out of SeeSaw now. I bet you can put your own spin on a lot of these ideas to create something that only you could create that fits for your classroom. And as always, thanks for stopping by. You're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.